Hello, happy Friday. Jack Tubbs from the J Team at Real 81 in Surprise, Arizona. Wishing you a happy Friday, wishing you patience as we continually wait for all the electoral boards and all the Secretary of States and recorders and all that of the states across, especially Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, Nevada, Alaska, etc., as we continue to wait for them to give us their final tabulation so we know who is going to be our next president-elect of the United States. And with that in mind, that's what I'm bringing you today. What I want to talk to you about today is that a lot of people are kind of wondering what kind of effect will a Biden administration have on the housing market as a whole. And right now, the answer that I can give you is probably not a lot. There are some things that he has promised during his campaign, such as up to a $15,000 first-time home buyer tax credit, which would help definitely continue the market's robustness and continue to see the housing markets across the entire United States be robust and show some definite longevity. And there are some other things that he's done for people who want to live more in a, or have to live, or choose to live in a multifamily situation, such as high-rise condominiums, etc. There are going to be some requirements for things. I'm not sure where the grandfathering date is going to be, but some high-rise projects are going to have to be brought up to a certain level of energy efficiency and all different safety, such as alarms, fire escapes, etc., are going to have to definitely be brought up to a new code, new certifications. That's going to cost some money. That may change that market somewhat, but once again, this is legislation that has not been introduced and has not passed the House and the Senate yet, so who knows when that's going to take to effect, but that could be one thing that could affect the market. One of the other things that is probably not going to happen, which would have happened under the Trump organization, is that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac would have been released from their conservatorship. In other words, the federal government would no longer be directing how they do business. They'd be able to go out and do business on their own again, still being contractors to the government, but not being directly run by the government, because the government really shouldn't have their hand in this. But unfortunately, with the financial crisis that happened back in 2008 through 2012, 2013, they needed definitely a hand on the wheel to make sure that their business was steady, and they had a way to emerge from the crisis in which they were so embroiled in. Other than that, it doesn't seem that his presidency, if Biden is elected president, if Vice President Biden is elected president, it doesn't seem that his presidency would change the historically low mortgage rates that we have been enjoying the past year and a half, 2 years. It doesn't seem that that will be affected, so that will continue to give buyers more buying power and also encourage them to go out and purchase. So the market here in the Valley should remain robust. It should really continue to be red hot, and especially, once again, as we see the exodus from the West Coast and from other points into our state because of jobs and cost of living, etc., being an attractive thing to the rest of the United States and also our climate, we should continue to see a very robust market here, and it should continue to be very strong, at least for the next year and a half, 2 years. After that, depending on what legislation is going in, the only wild card in this whole thing is going to be the effect of COVID-19 on the economy, and the only way that that can be elevated is if President Biden, or if Vice President Biden becomes president and he has his mandatory lockdowns. That could affect our markets, because then that means the economy definitely will be slowed down, probably significantly, and I don't know how much money the House and the Senate are going to be willing to spend to make sure that we have the same kind of income that we had before a shutdown. They'll make sure that we have some money to be able to pay the bills, keep the lights on, keep food in the fridge, but will they give us the kind of money that have the discretionary spending to go out and do other things like go to the movies, etc., which will be closed or shut down because of the shutdown that he would probably bring forth. So that's the main wild card. Otherwise, it doesn't seem like, if he were to be elected, it doesn't seem that his presidency would have a ton of effect on the housing market. Those are the thoughts I'm going to leave you with for the weekend. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, I've heard some voting may not end until next week, so we may not know for another week, but this kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what effect his presidency might have on the market. And once again, I want to emphasize might, because things always are known to change depending on what is going on in the country, what's going on in the world, and how it affects our United States. So, once again, these are just kind of a really 30,000 foot view looking down at what a Biden presidency might mean to the housing market. Hey, this is Jack from the J Team at Realty One in Surprise, Arizona, wishing you a great weekend. Hey, let's hope we get these election results done soon. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to know who's going to be the next president of the United States of these great states of America. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday, and maybe we'll have a little bit more news about what kind of effect a Biden presidency might have on the housing market. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.